Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the first Geeks of the Roundtable episode of 2022. Last week we were here. We were gathered together to talk about everything 2021 because it was the last show of the year. But now it's a new week, it's a new Saturday, and it is a new year. So I hope you guys had an excellent passage from 2021 to 2022. And of course, I couldn't do this alone. As always, I have my good, faithful, and awesome co-host, Zach Pope. How are you doing today, Zach?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great. We are here to talk movies and have fun. That's what
Yes,
we're here to
we
do.
are.
We're here to
Yes, we
talk
are.
movies and have fun. So,
Like always. Which, by the way, guys, I know my image looks slightly different. Not necessarily different, but dimensions are wonky a bit. That's because my laptop died yesterday. RIP to the little guy. I can't reach it right now, but I had to get a new one. So I still need to adjust the settings on the camera. So please understand. And by next week, we'll be back on the London set, and hopefully, I'll get this fixed. If not, I don't think it looks that bad. It just looks different. So I wanted to explain why it looks different. Anyway, of course, we're going back to normalcy a little bit this week for the last few weeks of Geeks of the Roundtable while it lasts. And last
yeah,
week
because
we
if you
talked
guys
about
don't know, we're breaking up.
last week we talked about how the show is going to change, and we talked about the logo, and I got the first few drafts of the logo. I got a good
Mm-hmm.
look at it, and it's looking good. So I cannot wait to show it to you. I haven't even shown Zach. I completely forgot to show Zach.
It's all good.
So I
I'm
cannot
not
wait
important.
to
It's okay.
to show Zach and then show it to you guys. But going back to normalcy, that means we got to do our weekly rankings. So you guys feel free to throw in your weekly rankings to the live chat. And of course, the second half of the show will be about your live questions. So you can ask live questions in one of three ways. Just type them into the live chat. We'll do our best to get to them, provide they're appropriate, and keep the flow of the show. Or you can support the channel actively while you ask great questions through Super Chat or the tip link in the description. Also, we got the memberships going this week, so I want to thank Bruna and Stuart for being the first two members of the channel. And if you want to support the channel and get exclusive perks and content, there's a link in the description for that. If it is for you, if it is appealing to you, if you feel like you're getting something out of the membership. All right. So since you're starting us off on the topics this week, why don't you let us know your weekly ranking?
All right. So I've seen more, but I can't talk about most two things. So
Okay.
I can only talk
I've
about
seen one thing that I can talk about.
okay. But I've watched four other things that I can talk about. Two are older movies, two are newer things. So starting at the bottom, it is the 355. It is absolutely one of the most generic, lifeless spy thrillers that I've ever seen in my life. Um, I'll be honest, I didn't even finish the movie. There was about 8 minutes left, and I just sat there. I'm like, it's not gonna get better. So
Oh wow.
I just stopped it. I just like it. You know when a movie should have ended, but it doesn't end, and it just keeps going. Like there's maybe
Yes.
15 minutes left, and it just
Yeah.
ends, and then it's like, oh wait, there's more. Okay, let's see where this goes.
That's one
Th-
of the movies I watched this week, the one I can't talk about. And it's not the
okay,
355.
is it the? I'm pretty sure we both saw it. Is it animated?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's
I know
not
which
say
one you're
anymore.
talking about. Okay, but yeah, so that's at my bottom. Next up is I Love You Man. This movie is
Ah, so
Paul Rudd,
good.
Jason Segel. I was just I was working. I don't like to work without having anything on. I had no
Mhm.
podcast to listen to. I didn't want to listen to music, so I put I Love You Man in the background, but it was really slow, so I could actually watch it.
I'm like that when I'm editing videos.
Yeah, I love this movie. It's not the
So good.
perfect movie, but it's so funny. And Paul Rudd, first off, we don't give Rashida Jones enough compliments. She's fucking great in this movie. But Jason Segel's toast at their that dinner, and
Mhm.
just how he goes, you
Slap at
should,
the base.
yeah, yeah. So funny. It's so funny, and we don't get comedies like this anymore. We don't.
No.
And it's not like this one's inappropriate or insensitive. It's just we still just don't get comedies like this anymore. Where it's just a simple premise. And I wish we did. It seems like every comedy either has to go bomb and bombastic, or like the last best comedy I think I saw was Game Night. That was the best last comedy I truly think I saw in theaters. So I
Right.
don't know. Like it's been such a long time. Next up is Harry Potter, the 20th anniversary return to Hogwarts. This was an excellent reunion that I felt just emotional watching. It made me want to watch the Harry Potter movies right afterwards.
It
A
was
little sad
lovely. It was just
they didn't
lovely.
get Robert Pattinson, but I'm sure he was
Yeah.
probably filming the Batman when they were doing this. But
I
emotional,
mean,
love.
but he's also not that important.
No, but they had other people to come back that I was
It,
like, oh, like even for a split second.
I think if anything, if he showed up, it would be it would feel like a publicity stunt because he's the
Yeah,
Batman.
maybe. But it was all I sat there going was, God damn, how have they not made a legacy sequel with these three yet? Like true to God, they are sitting on money right now. They are
Yeah.
sitting on money. And if you have told me that there's no way they've had internal discussions on making that, I don't even care if it's Cursed Child. I
If
don't care if they
anything,
make
those
something
discussions
new.
happen now because of this
Oh,
reunion.
I guarantee. I'm gonna tell you right now. So, from my understanding, I have heard that they are still going ahead with the next two Fantastic Beasts movie. I don't
Not
believe
surprised.
that. I do not believe that until I see the box office results on this next one. So
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna
I
be great.
think I've always told you. Right now, I think they're going ahead with it until the third. When the third one comes out, then they might change their minds.
Yeah. So we'll see on that. But yeah. But my number one movie I watched this week again was I watched Avengers Endgame. Why not?
Nice.
My girlfriend, I was chilling at her house, and
Face.
she goes, "I want to watch Endgame." I'm like, I ain't gonna fucking complain. Put it on. And we watched it, and I'm like, great movie, man. Like, fucking just amazing. Like the first, I love that. Like, I love how the first act is just an epilogue to Infinity War. Like, I love it so much, and I love how the film is paced. It's
Mm,
crazy how it is a 3 hour movie, and pretty much the first hour is the epilogue to Infinity War. The second hour is like the whole time travel sequence, and then the third hour is the best action war scene in a comic book film ever.
yeah.
Like it's so like I love timing it because it just shows like, and then like the second you are going to that third act is the second Thanos hits the base, and I'm just like, all right, we've kicked into overdrive. This is when it starts. So that's my number one of the week.
Alrighty. My week, I pretty much watched something every day. I didn't watch, at least I didn't log anything on the second, on the fourth, and that's it. But on the third and the sixth, I watched two movies. So I guess that counts because when I'm here, I'm showing a lot of movies to my parents. So you basically watch one movie per evening. So and then in the afternoon, sometimes I watch shit for myself. So in last place this week. So in the last place actually would come the brand new thing that I can talk about. So I'm not going to properly rank it. Uh, so in last place, and I liked everything I watched this week. Comes Scream 2. I started rewatching the Scream movies outside of the first one, which I just watched for the first time on the big screen. So that one
Nice.
comes in last place. Over that, I'm going to have Netflix's The Wasteland. It's a Spanish horror thriller that I want to review. I was going to review it yesterday, but then my laptop died. So then it was all chaos from then on.
Nice.
So I hope you guys understand that. And by the way, that other movie I can talk about yet. Review embargo drops on Monday. So I will be back in London by Monday, but the review itself will be this set because I've shot it. So over the wasteland, I'm going to have Pete's Dragon. Show this one to my parents. Really lovely Disney film, better than the original, and one of their really good live action remakes, if you want to call it a proper remake. Over that, I'm not going to rank the Harry Potter thing, by the way, just because it's not a quote unquote movie. But it was absolutely lovely. I agree with everything Zach said. If anything, I would have wanted my only nitpick is I would have wanted more of of everyone who was there together, just gathering. No, not the new Scream, GOP, Scream 2. Scream 2. If I made any mistakes, if I misspoke, I apologize. But I saw Scream 2, so that one comes in last place. I'm not seeing the new Scream until next week. I still don't know if if I'm getting a screening. At this point, I'm not too sure about it. But yeah, so Scream 2 comes last place, then Pete's Dragon, then The Wasteland, then The Suicide Squad. Show this one to my parents as well. They had a ton of fun with it, and I loved it just as much as I did the first time.
They loved it
And
though, right?
now they loved it, yeah. And now, Zach, for the first time in the history of weekly ranking, I'm going to cheat on the weekly ranking because I have a tie for second place.
Wow.
Because I rewatched two movies. One of them I rewatched because I was like, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I'm going to watch it. And the other one was one of my favorites of this past year, and I showed it to my parents, and they loved it too. So, second place, there's a tie for The Mitchell versus the Machines. Showed it to my parents. They loved it. And
Okay.
Sing Street. I don't ask me
Great
to choose
pick.
between those
Great
two.
pick.
Don't ask me to choose between those two.
I was about to
I
ask,
will
do you show
not.
your
I
parents
shan't.
Catan?
No. I don't think they would enjoy
I was telling
that
my
one.
dad about it.
And
Not spoiler wise, but just
my
like
dad
I,
would enjoy it. My dad would enjoy it, I think, not my mom.
I want to do a family movie night and show my family it.
So show them a Serbian film.
No, I'm good with that. I just want to get the I want them to see the very first 20 minutes of Titan, and then
Mhm.
afterwards I'm gonna pause it and ask, "Do you want to watch more?"
No.
And that'll be it.
Now try to guess what happens next. What direction does the film go in? Because
True.
they
It.
won't guess it. And
No.
then at first place, I finished the marathon that I started in between Christmas and New Year. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I literally So I had a terrible New Year's Day, by the way. I think I talked with some of you guys in the chat because I did a live last Sunday. I had a terrible New Year's Day. I was very sick. I don't know why. I don't know if it was mixing drinks, but I couldn't eat. I didn't eat all day because when I tried to eat, it all came immediately out for some reason. I'm going to put it that way to be as gentle as possible. So then on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, I gorged. I ate and ate and ate and ate. It was a feast. I had pancakes for breakfast and whatnot. Don't want to go off on a tangent, but watched the Harry Potter reunion special and then finished. Probably should have done the other way around, but watched the reunion special and then finished the marathon. So Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 comes in first place for my weekly ranking. And we have two weekly rankings right now. Gico AP, my weekly ranking, number 5, Book of Boba Fett episode 2. It was better than the first one. I agree. Number 4, Encanto. Number 3, 9 Days. Number 2, Coda. And number 1, Harry Potter 20th anniversary return to Hogwarts. Great ranking. I agree. I fully agree with this one, I think. I don't know if I'd rank the Harry Potter one above Coda, but outside of that, really good one, Jacoby, and I fully, agree with the rest of it. Jack Alexander says number 10, Hail Caesar. I do not like that movie. Number 9, Napoleon Dynamite. Never seen it. Because I don't think it gained the popularity outside the states than it did in the states. Because even for a lot of years, I didn't even heard of Napoleon Dynamite. I just eventually heard that it was this like cult thing. Have you ever seen it, Zach?
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah. Fun fact about that movie though.
Hmm.
So when my dad loves that movie. He goes, I want
Okay.
to show you this movie. And I'm like, okay. And he tells me it's Napoleon Dynamite. I don't remember how old I was. But I hear Napoleon and I hear Dynamite. And I'm thinking, oh, this is about that fucking midget in the war. So I didn't see a poster
By the
or
way,
anything.
turns out he wasn't that short.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, so if you consider the average man height nowadays, he would be a short guy. But for the time, he was very average because
How
he's
tall
like
was he?
let me continue your story and I'll tell you in a bit how high he was.
But so I
How
swore it
tall
was
he
a
was.
movie about that. And I told my dad, I don't want to watch that movie. And he goes, fine, whatever, miss out. So I go upstairs and I remember he starts watching and I come down. I'm like, what are you watching? He goes, I'm watching Napoleon Dynamite. I said, oh, I thought this was a war film. Like that.
Yeah.
I never saw a poster for it. I never saw a trailer or anything. I just heard the
Okay.
title. I'm like, I'm good.
All right. then did you end up watching it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I made him restart it.
So Napoleon, at the very least, he was 5'2", so he might have been like slightly short, but he wasn't like terribly short, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, not that I'm defending Napoleon. I'm just saying. Turns out, he wasn't that short. I was disappointed more than anything when I heard that. Tony Movie Chappie weekly ranking: number 4, Luca; number 3, Scream 4; number 2, Unforgivable, the Netflix one, I believe. Number 1, Unknown Dimension: The Story of Paranormal Activity, a great documentary. Highly recommend it if you're a fan of the franchise, which I'm not, but Zach is. So I'm sure Zach will be, even if just slightly interested. So thank you for sharing, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start. And Tony Movie Chappie also watched Encounter with Riz Ahmed. I watched that one last year, and I completely forgot to review it. So that should
I
tell you
like that movie.
my
I
feelings on it.
liked it.
All right. Without any further ado, Zach, throw us into our first topic, my
All
friend.
right, so the first topic we're talking about is Ren's new laptop. He's going to give a special shout out to Apple and saying how special this new laptop is, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks, Apple, for taking my money.
All right. Well, something big happened this week. Two big things happened. One I didn't really give a shit about. Another one, well, I did give a shit about because now I had to move my planning stuff around. But the other one I'm pretty pissed about. But guys, movies are moving again. Um,
Fuck.
It's just the inevitable. Yep, the exact thing I thought. Morbius has moved from January 28th to April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. This is the truth. April 1st is when this film will now be releasing.
Hang on, Zach. I've been called out, and they're right. I didn't finish Jack's weekly ranking, so I apologize. We got off on a
Wow.
tangent. I am really sorry. So good shout. Keep that pin in your mind. I'm sorry, Jack. Here we go. Number 10, Hail Caesar. Number 9, Napoleon Dynamite. Number 8, Cobra Kai season 4. Number 7, the Terminator 5. 5 is Genesis, which I like. Number 5, The Lost Daughter. Sorry, Ren. How dare you, sir? That movie sucks. But oh well. Number 4, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which I would rank above The Lost Daughter. And by the way, I know I am very alone in liking Terminator Genesis, so it's not weird for me at all that you would rank Lost Daughter or any most other movies I don't like above Terminator Genesis. So at least you ranked it above Hail Caesar, which thank you. Number 4, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Number 3, Succession Season 3. Number 2, Inside Llewyn Davis, my second favorite Coen Brothers movie. And number 1, 500 Days of Summer rewatch. I think, I mean, obviously, I haven't seen Napoleon Dynamite, Cobra Kai, Succession. But outside of that, I would just move the Terminator Genesis above The Lost Daughter, above The Eyes of Tammy Faye, I'm sorry, and then switch between 500 Days of Summer and Inside Llewyn Davis. But that's a great ranking. Thank you so much for sharing, Jack. And I apologize for forgetting, but now it's corrected. Zach, keep going, my friend.
Okay, so yeah, Morbius has moved again. It's not an April Fool's joke. This is it. It's moved. Maybe it'll move again. Now it has moved as much as New Mutants did, which is fucking insane. The more insane part about this is they made an entire Spider-Man movie after this film was already made. Like that's what's crazy, and it still has not been released. So,
They began
um,
making it and finished making it.
yeah, and I don't know if people have seen like after a Marvel movie comes out, a lot of these people who make concept art are able to release their concept art and kind of discuss other things. And I don't know if you saw Ren. Today it came out that America Chavez was supposed to be in Spider-Man No Way Home because this movie was technically coming out after Multiverse of Madness. And she
That's
was going to
right.
be the one that let some
Mhm.
things come in to special characters back into the world. So it makes me start to think about Morbius and like,
Oh, you
okay,
mean
well, this movie was
the two characters?
yes, she
Okay.
was the original one. So it's interesting in that department to think about because Morbius was supposed to come out beforehand. Now it's been delayed multiple times. How much will this movie actually tie in? Will they actually reshoot stuff? I don't know. The other thing that also happened this week, which I am very pissed about, it happened yesterday, is Turning Red is officially not going to theaters. It will only be going to Disney Plus, which is going against what Pixar or Disney had said. Bob Chapek himself said, going forward, all
You
Pixar
mean Bob
movies.
Chapek lied?
Yeah, apparently, man.
No.
So
What?
I do want to get one thing out of the way. Morbius, and I can tell you, I'll tell you in private later where I heard this from, because like and I've also seen some people on Twitter talking about this, but Morbius, Spider-Man is performing so fucking well. They moved Morbius to April because the movie's probably not going to do well, but they also don't have a movie in the second quarter of the year. So if they didn't have any movie release in the second quarter, and honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Uncharted's going to do great. Or else I think they would have bumped that as well, because that's also coming out in less than 3 to 4 weeks. So I think this is more of a books thing. I kind of agree with everything
But
that I've
one,
heard.
but that one, I think they're not moving that one. I think that one could actually do quite well because that also has Tom Holland.
Tom
So
Holland.
that, hey,
That's
you just
true.
saw Tom Holland in this
Maybe
awesome movie. Watch this other
that's what they're
awesome movie.
banking off of. And maybe what they're hoping is after the Batman, people will be like, "Oh, back into a superhero mode. What's next?
Vampires, Morbius."
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of funny that we're getting to. But I think this is actually better for Warner Brothers because now it's like if people, I feel like there's a weird demographic that would go like I'm not saying like us, we don't care, but there's that weird demographic that would go see Morbius and be like, I don't want to see a Batman movie. That other Bat movie sucks. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's a demographic out. The thing
if anything, they're banking on the opposite now because it's coming out after the Batman. So they're like,
exactly.
"Oh my god, the Batman was so I want to see this other Bat movie."
But I don't think that people have been worried about Batman getting pushed unless everything seriously starts really going downhill. Batman ain't moving. They are still marketing that film. Yeah, they are still moving forward. Do you see the marketing every day? I'll tell you right now, if they had any thoughts of this, the marketing would have stopped. They would have stopped putting out clips, trailers, TV spots. Like they're still putting out stuff every single day. This movie's coming out. And I think Warner Brothers knows people will go see a movie if they want to. As long as theaters ain't closed, people will go see it. The thing I want to talk about with you, Red, though, is this Turning Red situation.
Which is, by the way, much more interesting than Morbius. We don't care about Morbius.
100%. I'm fucking livid, man. And I have said this, like, my heart goes out to everyone at Pixar because, I sent a tweet in our group chat yesterday. First African-American solo film. Straight to Disney Plus. That one, okay. Soul going to Disney Plus. There was not a lot of theaters open. Fine.
There wasn't. We were on the height of it, and they had just
still should have been hybrid. I still believe Soul should have been a hybrid, though. Like Wonder Woman.
I think it would have flopped too hard at the box office, like Wonder Woman.
Maybe,
did.
Yeah.
And I get it because they tried the Premiere Access before that. People didn't really go into it, so they were like, okay, let's see how it works if we just drop this one on Disney Plus. At the time, with the context we had, I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense for this one time until things get better.
Yep. But and that's the thing, though. These movies are doing. I mean, when they're dropped on Disney Plus, they're doing great. They are doing excellent. But you could make money too at the same time. So then, Luca, what was it? A couple months before they announced. First Italian-led Disney or Pixar film.
They announced it like in March or something.
Yeah. But these are their last 3 original ideas are all going to Disney Plus now. And then look at Turning Red. The director of Bao gets her first big solo film. It's
an Asian-led movie.
Asian and women. One of the first women-directed Pixar films. The only other one would be Brave. But Brave was co-directed. This one is straight just directed from my understanding. So straight to Netflix. Straight to Disney Plus.
That would be another story.
Yeah. And this wasn't one of my most anticipated films of the year, but that didn't mean I wasn't excited for this. I love Pixar. Yeah, Pixar is my favorite movie studio of all time. It frustrates me to no end. And here's my thing. If they would have said, hey, it'll be going on Disney Plus in a Premiere Access mode, but you can still see it in theaters, that's fine. Or even if they said, hey, you can go see it in theaters, but we're also going to put it on Disney Plus the same day, or a week later, or 30 days later, or 45. I mean, that was the deal now, is 45 days. So that's
the window.
I don't get it. I don't understand why. Lightyear, I'll tell you right now, that's going into theaters. I would absolutely be shocked now if that one does. Because it's an IP. It's not an original. It's an original concept, but it's not an original like IP yet. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on this? Do you want to talk more about Morbius again, or do you want to talk about Turning Red?
Nah, I know some of our friends in the live chat are excited about Morbius, but look, to me, and I don't have the information that Zach has, but to me, this is a COVID panic right now. Um, to the point where they saw a spot, a better spot that is normally more connected to this kind of blockbustery superhero kind of stuff. So they
Yeah.
moved it there. It's fine. But I'm not excited for Morbius whatsoever. So I didn't feel
I
anything
will.
towards it. I'm like,
To be
oh,
honest,
okay.
I don't think that's a better spot.
I'm
They
not saying
have
it's a
it.
better
Yeah.
spot. I'm saying it's a spot that they saw was open and they thought, okay, this is a spot
Hmm.
that is more connected to this kind of film. So they
Hmm.
moved it there because it gave them enough buffer time between this COVID panic that is emerging with Omicron, hashtag take a booster shot. And then they saw that one space open. But Turning Red, I just feel numb about it, to be honest. It is disheartening, but the fact, bless you, but the
Thank
fact
you.
that I feel numb and disheartened just shows you how much of a sucky situation this has become. Because as you were saying, this we had the situation with Soul, which fine, we understand. You tried Premiere Access before, didn't work, move on, and you move on to Soul, it gets dropped, and then they go back to the Premiere Access with Ryan the Last Dragon. Okay, they do Premiere Access with Cruella. They do Premiere Access with Black Widow and with Jungle Cruise. Okay, but then with Luca, they just drop it. So why doesn't Luca get the Premiere Access?
Yep.
That doesn't make sense to me. So, and then was there anything Premiere Access after Luca? Or did Jungle Cruise come after Luca? Can you check when Jungle Cruise came out and when Luca came out? Because
Jungle Cruise
Jungle
came
Cruise
after Luca. Jungle Cruise
came
came
after,
after
yeah.
Luca. Yeah.
So
I think
there you
Jungle Cruise
go.
is the last Premiere Access thing, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Luca was like the week after Black Widow, I believe. No, it was 2 weeks after. 2 weeks after Black Widow. So Raya, Cruella, Black Widow, all Premiere Access. Luca gets dropped for free. Okay, so they're done with Premiere Access. But then Jungle Cruise is also Premiere Access. So it just shows favoritism, and it shows that there's not a proper logic to it. It's just, okay, these are the movies that would
Hmm.
make a bang for
And
their buck, and these are the
mhm.
movies that we don't properly believe in. Now, let me say this. Not that agree necessarily, but let me say this. And it's Pixar, so it's another reason why I don't believe this. But I've seen a ton of people at least raising the awareness for, could this be it? Like the possibility of this being it. Could Turning Red be a film that they don't believe in? Could this be one of those cases, like if it was being released in theaters, one of those films where where the embargo lifts on the day of release, so it's a very bad sign, and then you watch the movie and turns out, oh yeah, this wasn't a very good movie. Because judging from that other film that we saw this week, Zach, there's a reason why a certain studio sold it to a streaming service,
Yeah.
the animated one. I don't think it is personally. The film looks, at the very least, very fun, very enjoyable. Very, I if I was to guess, Zach, I think at the very least I'm giving Turning Red a B minus, C
Yep.
plus at the worst.
Yeah.
But could this be a movie that it's not very good in the end? Do you think there's a chance of that?
Nope. I think they're on a winning streak, man. Like
All right,
I
I
I
think so too.
I loved Soul. Luca has grown on me on every single rewatch. I really liked Luca. I have come to fucking love Luca. I mean, I really think Pixar maybe has, out of over their 20 films, there's 5 of them I don't care about rewatching. Or like don't
Cars one,
like
two, and three.
pretty much. But I don't mind the first Cars. Like the first Cars, I don't mind it, but I never have the inkling to go back
Yeah,
to it.
same.
The other two is Brave
I
and The
like
Good
Brave more
Dinosaur.
than most. Good Dinosaur, Dinosaur, the Good
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur, the Good Dinosaur. I agree, but Brave I like more than most. I will say.
Yeah. So I don't know. I honestly don't think it's I mean when you do look at box office stuff for kids movies, they're not doing, I mean that's a lie though because they're doing good. They're doing
I
decently. Like they're not making as much money as they would be typically, but there's a lot of kids going to the theater. I saw
Yeah.
Encanto 3 times in theaters, and it was packed each
I only
time.
saw it once in theaters, sadly.
So, and like Raya was a little bit different because it came out at a weird time, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
And they didn't give me a screener for it.
I will say this though. I was watching there's a couple Disney podcasts I listen to, and these guys talked about Turning Red already. And the thing I love about them, they talk about everything, but they mentioned how before Bob Iger, the president before him bought the Muppets, and that president was obsessed with the Muppets. The Muppets was his favorite thing. When Bob Iger came in control, he didn't do shit with the Muppets. In fact, he like pretty much like put them away. Like they had so many plans for the Muppets, and they didn't go forward with any of it. And a lot of that was Bob Iger's thing. So they said their feeling is maybe that's Bob Chapek with Pixar. Maybe that's just like he's not a fan of Pixar and he'll never credibly say it, but this is just his way of
You
trying
never
to
made a sequel to A Bug's Life. I'm going to put all your movies on a streaming service.
exactly. But it's insane to me because like out here, if you go to Disneyland in California, there's an entire area. I don't mean just a small area. There is an entire area of one of the parks, like almost 50% of the park is Pixar. There's literally a part of the park called Pixar Pier.
I was gonna say same here in Paris, but yes.
Is there a Pixar area over there too?
Yeah,
I know there's a Toy Story one, right?
There's a Slinky ride, which is basically going up and down
Yeah.
like this, and then the Ratatouille ride is the top 2 rides for me are the Aerosmith, the Rock and Roller Coaster, and then the Ratatouille ride.
Yeah,
like,
which
bar
fun
none.
fact, there was rumors they were going to turn the Aerosmith ride into a Monsters Inc. ride because they almost lost the
Nice.
rights to the Aerosmith stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, that would have been cool.
There-
Do the doors and everything like that.
There's like a parachute thing where you're like one of the soldiers,
The
the
army
toy
men?
soldiers.
See,
you go up on the parachute,
yeah.
then you drop. It's very simple. Like it's going up
Yeah.
and down. That's it.
See, out here,
and then there's a Nemo one where you're supposedly like riding on the turtles, but I've personally never been to that.
Oh,
one.
that's the one that spins. I've seen that one online.
I think I don't know. Bruno
Yeah,
wanted to take me once when we were there,
too.
but
You're going down the
the
EAC.
line was too big. Yeah,
It looks cool, but you know, and that's my thing. Like, I mean, if that's really his thoughts, he's a fucking idiot. Even more. I'm sorry. Like that's just, but I think this more comes down to it's a good movie, but it's not going to make money. So where is it going to do better at? Maybe it'll get us more streaming because their Disney Plus is falling. They haven't gotten more subscribers, but this
it's not falling, but they've come to a stagnation a bit.
Yeah.
Like they were rising and then they stopped for a bit, so they're not rising
but
as fast.
I don't think Turning Red gets people to come back.
Me neither.
This is what's the problem. You guys have no content coming out. So like after Boba Fett, I'm telling you right now, if there really isn't a Moon Knight or a She-Hulk that comes out, and we have to wait till May for the next thing, because I'm telling you right now, there's no way in hell Obi-Wan is not debuting on May the 4th. Like that is May the 4th is a Wednesday. Did you just see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just about to grab that.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, it's
we
pretty
take turns
insane.
while you talk. I surveil the chat.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like there's just something to this that just feels pissed. I'm just mad about it, you know. And it came out of nowhere too.
Yeah,
it came out of nowhere.
It's very disheartening, and I will be on the pissed off train if they do this to Lightyear. Because just looking at the I'm semi pissed. Obviously, I don't mean this entirely as true, but the Lightyear trailer, not even the movie, the trailer is so much better on the big screen than it is watching on my laptop. And my laptop, well, it had a good screen. Now this one has an even better screen. But the Lightyear, the difference is immense when seeing it on the big screen. You know, when I only saw it once on the big screen, Zach. You know which movie I was going to see when I saw the Lightyear trailer?
Huh.
Take a guess. It's gotta be recently. One guess.
What movie you saw?
Yeah.
They had it?
When the Lightyear trailer played.
Was it Spider-Man?
It was when I took my parents to see Spider-Man No Way Home in IMAX. So I saw that in IMAX and I was like, holy
fuck, man.
shit,
I saw it in Dolby and I was like, oh god. I mean, it's my second most anticipated film of the year. So
It's
I
my fourth or fifth.
yeah, I was about to say it's in
Fifth,
your
I
top
think.
5, I remember.
It is.
So
It is. Because I know I have Across the Spider Verse ahead of it, and then the top three. The top three I know very well, which are my top three.
yeah,
um,
I don't know.
but anyway,
uh,
we got to move on
yeah.
to our second topic, and our second topic is more of a discussion that we will want your guys' input on this, and that is the book of Boba Fett meeting expectations? Because the internet seems to be
Panther.
divided over this, but then again, the internet is divided over Star Wars. Boo freaking who? In other
They're
news,
divided over
water is wet.
everything though. I'm not
They're
even
divided.
joking.
So I'm going to add a poll to the chat that I will
Wait,
want you
you do
guys to
that?
vote on it. Yes, you can. I heard John Campia doing it. And I'm like, you can do that. So I was looking at the chat here on on StreamYard. You can, but if you go to
Oh.
YouTube, you can. So Zach, how are you feeling about the Book of Boba Fett in general? Having seen the first 2 episodes, because we don't get screeners. Um,
Yeah.
but how are you feeling about, is this series meeting your expectations? Are they going in directions that you didn't expect? And is that a good thing or a bad thing in the case of Book of Boba Fett?
So I feel like I'm actually more in the it's crazy. I'll say this, Ren. Before I give my thoughts, I have a bunch of friends who are watching this. They don't watch the Marvel shows. They literally barely watch any shows. But they, for some reason, anytime there's a Star Wars show, it's like an event to them. They are fucking loving this show. All of them.
All right.
Even my dad, who he didn't like any of the MCU shows really liked Mandalorian, but he's really liking this one. I don't know if there's a nostalgia thing because it's Boba Fett. That's kind of why I think it is. Where for me, I'm really liking it to loving certain elements, but I do think there is a major pacing issue with this entire show. But I put a pin in that issue because I want to see the entirety of the show. This might be a show that we might look back on and be like, this is the perfect show to binge. This is the perfect show to binge. But we also might look back on it and be like, yeah, no, it shouldn't have been that short. Because the way that I view it, part of me kind of wishes they would have done a Boba Fett show before Mando season 2. Show the flashbacks, show he's alive, and then the ending of that season, he's fucking finds Fennec or something of that nature. And that's like, oh, we know who did that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then you do a second season after Mandalorian, and then that kind of goes. I don't mind this flashback stuff, but it is getting to the point where it is literally the entire episode where I am more interested in what is going on in the present timeline, not in the past. I think it's interesting, and I have heard rumblings that the flashbacks are about to pick up immensely with certain things showing up. I don't know what, but all I've heard is that certain things are going to show up. And I'm going to be honest, I hope it's not just for the sake of being a cameo, if that makes sense. Like, I hope these flashbacks aren't just be like, oh, look, there's Luke Skywalker. Oh, look, there's Han Solo. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping it's not. And I'm wondering, where do the flashbacks start? Because I've seen many shows where flashbacks are intertwined perfectly fine and it works well. Arrow is one of the shows that I think some seasons they did it way better than others, and some seasons they did it horribly.
But it
But for
was
this,
always very necessary for the story to
yes,
move forward.
exactly. That's where I'm like, I didn't need to see how he gets his robes. I think I think this gives me more
Thank you.
appreciation for the the Tuscan Raiders. I'll be honest with that.
And also the Tuscan robes. They clearly protect you
Yeah,
very well from the sun.
exactly. So it's like I really liked this show, and it's hard for me to say like anything against it because I think it's well made. It's just there's a big pacing issue to it, and it's nothing of the directors. It's from the writing. This is from a
It's
writing
from the
standpoint,
writing, yeah.
and John
These are
Favreau.
very well directed episodes, the
Yeah,
first
and it's
2.
not like it's bad writing either. It's just kind of surprising, and it makes me still wonder, why did you guys hype this show so much? Why didn't like I wonder if they would have set an expectation that there was going to be a ton of flashbacks in here if I would have been a little bit more prepared. It's just like the way they marketed this from, Rodriguez, Favreau. We can't show anything in this. I'm sorry. In the first 2 episodes, you could have shown me a lot. There's like 2 things in the second episode that maybe I wouldn't have wanted to see in the trailer because it was so small. But like, I don't know. I'm waiting for it to go somewhere. It's good, but it's frustratingly good because I feel like it could be better.
Jico VP uses the perfect word, I feel, because if you ask me, is the Book of Boba Fett good so far? No, it's not. As an overall show, it's not. But I wouldn't say it's bad either, also because it's not over, obviously. But decent. It's a decent enough time watching an episode of television. And we had very interesting conversations in a chat with some of our friends. Because this is TV made differently than we used to. But at the same time, just looking at episode 1, just looking at it as a story structure, when you finish episode 1, you have gained no new information
Nope.
regarding where the show is going. What is going to be the story of the show? You have gained a lot of information about, okay, he escaped the Sarlacc pit, he was captured by the Tusken Raiders, blah 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 blah. Like, doesn't matter. You're looking back, and and even after the second episode, we have a total of about, more or less, give or take, an hour and 40 minutes of content. And in that hour and 40 minutes of content, we have 5 to 6 minutes of forward momentum, which is that opening sequence in episode 2 of him going to the mayor, going to the cantina, getting out, and confronting Jabba's cousins. That's it. After that, practically, the entirety of the second episode is a flashback. It's more, there's an expression in Portuguese, Zach, which is, you know how you make sausages? You have the skin and you put it in a tube and then you shove the meat in there. So when you have these kind of filler episodes, you use the expressions, you're filling up the sausage. You're not doing anything interesting. You're just filling up the sausage. You just have the skin in there and you're throwing the meat inside.
And can I be honest?
And that's it. Yeah.
I wonder.
I want you guys to start using that expression, by the way.
I wonder if this would be stronger as a movie, like a Disney Plus movie.
I feel it would, but you brought up something very interesting that I also thought this week, because I don't mind the flashbacks, I don't mind the present thing, but they do not belong together.
They don't add anything.
I don't care to see the flashbacks, given that we're already in the stage where he's trying to take power and he's trying to balance things and gain the loyalty of the people of Mos Espa. That's what I want to see. If you want to go back, do 2 different shows. Do the Mandalorian season 1, the Boba Fett show where he escapes the Sarlacc and hangs around with the Tusken Raiders and whatnot. Then move on to Mandalorian season 2 and present Boba Fett there, and then move forward. Because it doesn't feel like the show knows what it wants to do. It wants to do too much in too little. Zach, as I've established, in 1 hour and 40 minutes of content right now, we've had 5 minutes of forward momentum. We've moved the story. We moved the story forward for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It's basically the premise. It's the setup, and they did that in the second episode. Not
well,
the
and
first.
that's my thing.
You kind of want to do
the first
it
2 episodes should have been combined.
In these 2, I would still be kind of pissed because, again, overall we had 5 minutes, and I'm like, I spent an hour and 40 minutes of my life watching this. There's 5 minutes of okay.
So let me
this
ask
is the
you,
premise of the
if
show.
this week is kind of the same way, are you going to still review it?
I'm going to still review it, but I'm not going to do it weekly. I'm going to drop it for the week, and then I'll watch them week to week, and then at the end, I'll do a season review.
Okay.
I wanted to get to that point later, but look, in an hour and 40 minutes of content, we got 5 minutes moving forward. This is 7 episodes. 7 episodes long. And
10 votes. We're at 100% for a yes.
Yeah, I saw that, but I would say that I saw that some people haven't watched it yet, but they still voted, and I would say, okay, that doesn't count. But at the same time, even if you take those votes out, it's still 100% because nobody voted no. So thank you guys for voting. But that being said, 7 episodes. We're 2 episodes in, and all we have is the premise of the show.
That we already
'Cause in
knew
the
from the
first
trailers.
exactly. In the first episode, I couldn't tell you what the story is. Like, take the trailers out and whatnot. What does the first story present? I don't know. The first episode present. Sorry, I couldn't tell you. Could you tell me, Zach? If you just look at the first episode, you don't know what the show is about.
I would say it's has Boba Fett in it, and
Yeah,
he's the
and
new
Fennec.
daimyo, and
Daimyo.
he got his ass kicked, and Fennec
Yeah,
saved him.
yeah, exactly. Also, by the way, as you guys know, I put clips on my reviews. I have clips sometimes in front of my face, so you don't have to look at this too often. You're welcome. Um, but I have all the trailers downloaded. I use clips from all the trailers, and I took it out when I was deciding which clips to put on the actual video. I took that one out, but I stumbled upon a clip, Zach, that made me realize, oh, the flashbacks aren't going away.
Oh, there'll be the whole
These
thing. At this point, there'll be
these
the whole thing.
these flashbacks are not going away whatsoever. And in the several group chats that I've talked, even people who are enjoying the show, they're like, I just hope they move forward from these flashbacks quickly because I want to get to the actual story. Because
Or do
everyone realize
less of them. Or do less
everyone
of them, man.
at the very most do 50-50. Because even Arrow, who very much abused the flashbacks, we were doing flashbacks until the seventh season. There was no need for it. That being said, Arrow was always very 50-50.
But you know what
When
else
it comes
Arrow did it really well?
when you just look at the
Mhm.
episodes, like, okay, there was 50% going in flashbacks, 50% with the story.
Yep.
And there was this forward momentum. Boba Fett does not have that forward momentum. To the point where in Arrow, Zach, you and I use the term flashbacks. In Boba Fett, the more accurate description is flashback. There's one which takes up the majority of the
Yep.
episodes.
Which that's where I want to say this is that with Arrow's sake, and I can't believe I'm actually giving Arrow praise because everyone knows how much I
Give
do
Arrow
not like
praise.
CW
Give
shows.
Arrow praise. Give
But
Arrow praise.
a flash, like it'll be Oliver Queen and his fucking sister talking, and they'll
Yeah.
say something, and then the next scene it flashes into a flashback because
Yeah.
it's kind of giving context
Because they
to
say, well,
why,
that one time you pooped
yeah,
on the bucket, and you flash back to him pooping on the bucket.
and something of
No
that
matter what.
nature. So like Book
Yeah.
of Boba Fett, I wish kind of did that where like I don't know, say he's holding the Goffy stick. Is that what it's called? The Goffy stick, I think, is what it's called. In
I
Fortnite, that's what they have it because you can buy it, but it's like called the
that weapon.
Goffy stick or something.
I called it that weapon.
The
That cool
stick.
weapon.
Um,
The stick with the bow.
he could be looking at it, and Fennec could have been like, "You never really talked about your past. You know, how did you get that? Stuff like that. Looks like
Yeah.
a Tusken Raider thing." I know my writing is not good, so like,
Or Tusken Raiders walking by, and she points the gun, and he's like, "Stop!
exactly.
Don't attack."
Then it
And flashback.
easily moves into there, and it goes back
Stop.
and forth. I think there'd be a better pacing if it was going back and forth of
Yeah.
doing that instead of every time he gets in the back to tank. Because I'm starting to
Yeah.
hate that fucking back to tank.
Man,
Every single time I
same.
see you, or he goes, "Get me back to the back to tank."
Stop
No,
taking so many
no,
showers.
no, stop! Get out of the back to tank. So again, maybe we see all this by the ending. We're just like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. It totally makes
Mhm.
sense. This should have just been a movie. You know, we might look back and
Yeah.
think that. We might be like, all these flashbacks made sense. Because I'm going to tell you, I think all those Tusken Raiders are dead. I think all of them are dead. I
Yeah.
think all of them are dead. So,
And I think he
and
might
I
have
think
killed
that's.
them.
Oh,
Or
you do?
or
Oh, okay.
or that's an outside guess. It's
Yeah.
not like I think that's the thing that happened. But it's a possibility. Or the crime lords have killed them, and he's uniting them to kill them.
Oh, maybe. And that's
In
why I said
revenge.
is that this show has that Godfather element to it in the present time.
More in
And
the
I'm
trailers than in the actual
Yeah,
show this
well,
far.
true, but like I really have this Godfather love for this show. I just want it to progress the main storyline. That's my only issue.
Yeah.
Because I like the Tusken Raider because it does show that Boba Fett isn't the same Boba Fett that we knew, you know, from some comics and I do like that. I just want more. But that's where I'm gonna stop talking because we've gone like 20 minutes on these first two topics.
That's true. But I
So
wanted to say that I find myself yelling at the television when watching the show. Pick the fuck up. Pick the get to the fucking point.
well, I stay up till midnight my time or 1 o'clock my time to watch this thing. So
I would have regretted that already. Even if I had done that, I wouldn't be doing it.
I'm liking it enough to, but like the one show I
It's
stopped that on was
decent,
Bad
but
Batch. I stopped on
it,
Bad Batch. I'm like,
yeah,
eh.
I
I'm
I
like,
I dropped Bad Batch completely. I'm like, I guess I'll watch this, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna watch season 2. If you tell me it's really, really fucking good, I'll watch the first episode. If
well,
I don't like
here's the
the
thing.
first
I will
episode, I'm
watch
not gonna.
Bad Batch. I'll watch the first 3. I won't. I probably won't review them though. I probably won't review it anymore. I'll probably just.
Yeah,
I'll watch it, and then if I have something to say, maybe I'll make an episode review on that one. You know,
yeah.
but that's really it. I
Alrighty,
don't know. Yeah. You want me to bring us in the third topic,
bring us into the third topic, my friend, because there's not
guys?
much to talk about this one.
Yeah.
right now.
Now, The Boys season 3 is officially coming this year. It's what, June? It's June, right? Or
June 3rd.
June 3rd. So very closer than I expected. I was actually hearing December. So the fact that it is June
Wow.
makes me happy. Maybe the December date that I heard going around was actually for the high school show, because I know that's in production.
Ah.
So maybe that's what I heard.
Or the animated one.
Oh, I forgot they're doing the animated one too.
Yeah.
So, but The Boys season 3 is officially coming back. This is a show that I still have not read all the comics. I almost bought them all yesterday because they were on sale.
Nice.
So, Ren, what is the Hero-gasm?
I don't want to tell you because the Hero-gasm.
Well, it's just funny to me. They announce every date for the episode, and then that's the one they give a date for.
Because
the
Hero-gasm is a big, major, wild event that changes the course of the show or of the series in the comics
Okay.
drastically. Like, if you think the boys are wild and irreverent,
Who's it have to
and
do with? We can just say that. Who's it have to do?
basically everyone.
Okay.
Some directly, some indirectly, but it basically affects the entire dynamic of the characters and where they're headed and whatnot. It's this major shift um, that is funny. It's kind of disgusting and off-putting. It's enraging. It deals with all the things that this show has dealt with thus far. Like, maybe they do it very badly, and it will feel like, in retrospect, you're gonna come to this episode and you're like, Ren totally oversold Hero-gasm. If you want to look at what it is in the comics, do it. But I want you guys to be surprised. If you have not read the comics and you are enjoying the show, keep it that way so you can be surprised when Hero-gasm drops. And I want to say right now, these episodes drop on Friday. I will be covering The Boys. Amazon has been so kind to me with The Boys and with everything ever since I started
I
a
know.
relationship
Last
with
year
them.
they accidentally gave me the whole season, and I guess I
Yeah,
was like
I
one of
know.
the
I
only
remember
few.
that. This year they're again dropping the first 3 at the same time, and then one per week until
Mhm.
July 7th, where the last episode drops. But I want to tell you guys right now, when Hero-gasm drops, we're gonna cover it on Geeks of the Roundtable. So if you are watching The
Well, it won't
Boys,
be Geeks to the
they,
Round Table anymore.
well, it won't be Geeks of the Roundtable, but it will be one of the good shots, Zach. Thank you for
Okay.
correcting me. It will be this week in Geek, and it will be this week in
Which
Hero-gasm.
week is that? Which week is that? Because I gotta see.
July.
Because I'm going on
It will be.
a
It's
vacation,
not gonna.
so I want to make
It's gonna
sure
be June. It's gonna be June. Hang on. Hero-gasm is episode 4, right? Check for me if it is episode
5.
4.
I think
It's 5. So
Okay.
8th of July.
No, it's the 24th.
24th.
It's the 24th.
Oh, that's a
which
national holiday over here.
I'm gonna be on vacation that day, but that's fucking fine. No. I'll make sure that I'm here.
Oh, you'll make sure you're okay. No worries.
Yeah,
Awesome
that's
then.
the last day, but I don't know how late. Because like we're supposed to go to California for a week, but I don't know how long I'll actually go for the whole week or something.
Okay.
So,
but Hero-gasm will be an event that we'll need to talk about. So that will for sure be one of the topics.
okay.
One of the topics that we discuss. Never occurred. What the fuck? Zach, try to see if you can block that.
I already did.
That thing. Oh, you did? Okay,
blocked
because
on
it's still
our end, but it's still showing on StreamYard.
okay. Yeah, it's still showing on StreamYard, but if you blocked it, no worries. All right, everyone. So be prepared for Hero-gasm. It's going to be an event. Our last topic, though, we were talking about this past week, and 2021 was a really great fucking year for comic book movies. That
And
was
shows. And shows. I think
and
it's one of the
shows.
best. I think it is
Yeah.
hands down maybe the second best or the number one best comic book year for film and TV.
It's gotta be up there because, well, in TV there's not even that much competition, just in terms of the quantity that we got. We're living in an abundance of riches for this type of material. But in movies, we had one that was bad. Like I know Black Widow is kind of divided. I'm sure every single one of the movies, comic book movies that came out last year, there's at least one person that thinks one of them is bad. I'm sure. But overall, the consensus, there was one bad one, which was Snake Eyes. And even that one, you have to put an asterisk on comic book movie. I consider it a comic book movie, but there's an argument to be made. So, looking at the future, at this year, we got even more comic book movies. And Zach, correct me if any of these have been delayed for next year. One of them hasn't been officially, but it will be. But we'll count it as coming out this year. So we got to consider, could 2022 be even better or at least as good as 2021? I only got the movie. So for this discussion, I'm not counting the TV show.
That's fine because we don't know what shows will actually come out at this point.
Exactly.
Like we assume Moon Knight, She-Hulk, we know Miss Marvel, Secret Invasion is still kind of in the air.
There's also one movie that I don't know what it is, called Secret Headquarters. It's got Owen Wilson, Michael Pena, but I have no clue what.
Sounds like shit. Sounds like shit.
But supposedly it is a comic book movie.
Okay.
So, but I'm not going to count that one because I have no way of opinionating on it. So we got Black Adam, The Batman, The Flash, Morbius, Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, DC League of Super Pets, Batgirl. We got that movie,
I
the
forgot
Secret
Batgirl.
Headquarters.
Yeah, I forgot Batgirl.
And well, this one you also need an asterisk on it because it's not properly based on a comic book movie, but we're going to count it. Samaritan, starring Sylvester Stallone.
Yep, that's my top 10 most anticipated. Man, I'm fucking hyped for that movie.
Well, I saw a lot of most anticipated movies list videos this week, and I don't think a single one of them had a different top one. As every single one that I seen, that I remember, memory could be failing.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, mine, yours, Sean Chandler, Leo, every single one. The Batman is at number one. So let's give you the question in general. Do you think 2022 could be better than 2021 overall? And also, your favorite 2021 comic book movie, which was Spider-Man No Way Home, I believe. Do you think the Batman could be better?
So, I've said it, and I'll still stand by it. Even after seeing Spider-Man No Way Home, if I knew the things that were in there, would I still say I would rather see the Batman? Yep. The Batman is my most anticipated film. I'm starting to get to the point of all time for me, of my entire life. There was two superheroes I watched constantly growing up. It was Spider-Man and Batman. Do you know what the Batman has that the Spider-Man doesn't? The Batman has, well, yeah. But the Batman, this movie feels like the animated show to me. Looking at every trailer, it's just darker, meaner. I love Robert Pattinson. I love Zoe Kravitz. I love Colin Farrell. I love Paul Dano. And I absolutely love Matt Reeves. I love Matt Reeves. And when Matt Reeves talks about Batman, I want to fucking cry. Because it just like, it's like he gets it. You know what I mean? It's like he understands. You were going to say, I want to fuck Matt Reeves. I mean, no, but this is my most anticipated film of all time. And I truly think, from what I've heard, that this is arguably the best Batman film ever made. If the
it's a tall order. It's a tall order.
But The Dark Knight isn't even my favorite
but it's
Batman
possible.
Film. So
Mine neither. But
Mine's
well,
Batman Begins. I think that's the best Batman film.
I might prefer Begins over my connection to it. But like when I talk about the better made, overall,
Dark
I
Knight is the
guess
better
I'd
made
give
movie.
the edge
Dark
to
Knight
Dark
is
Knight.
technically the better made
So
movie.
that's why I'm saying it's a tall order. But is it possible?
Yeah.
Anything is possible. I agree.
I think it
'Cause
is.
I'm as excited as you are for it because it was also my number one. Spoilers for my
Yeah.
most anticipated of the year
So
list.
I think if this movie is even half as good as the trailers are, it's my favorite film of the year.
It'll be a solid movie.
So, but I do want to go. Let's take the Batman
Okay.
out because I do think
Yes.
this could possibly be the best year for comic book film.
I
There's
I
just
think there's
two
a,
films.
I think
There's
there's a good chance.
there's
There's
three
three
films lingering
films.
on here though. There's three that
Exactly.
I think. So I want to mention The Flash. Everything I hear about it, everything I hear more about it, I'm less excited about. Yeah, every time,
Is that
every time, every single time. The second
Yeah.
one, DC Heroes Super Pets. I don't even want to really count this one, but it just
We
it
have
doesn't
to
look
count it.
special. If I'm being honest,
No.
it just doesn't like. It looks fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if I was a
Let-
kid, I'd love the movie. If I was a kid,
let's do
or
it
if I had
this
a kid.
way. Let's do it this way. So and we'll include the Batman.
Okay.
Great, good, bad, awful. Those are
Okay.
the four categories. Okay.
And let's do one disappointing. I think we should do one disappointing.
Okay. Cool. Great, good, disappointing, bad, awful. Those
Awful.
are our five
Okay.
categories. Waffle.
Waffle.
Waffle. It was a waffle movie.
That's what I'm gonna start saying now.
Waffle or pancakes. Those are
Can
our
that
two
be
options.
can that be new? Can that be how we rank stuff for Geeks this week in Geek?
Well, it depends. Which one would be the good? Which one would be the bad? The waffle or the pancake?
What do you more of?
Like, pancake is a perfect breakfast, but waffle, when you have it, it's more special. At the end of the day, they taste the same.
I agree. But waffles, you can get more syrup in because they have the pockets.
That's true.
And then it soaks it in. Then you put more.
But there's
in.
nothing bad about pancakes. You know that, like, to say the
Yeah.
pancake is the bad one is also. So anyway, great, good, disappointing, bad, awful.
Okay.
Black Adam.
Good. I think it's gonna be good.
I want to say great, but I'm going to be cautious in this and say good as well. The Batman. Let's say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Oh, fucking amazing, greatly amazing, best film ever made. Imagine we walk in there and we're like, "What the fuck was that?"
Exactly.
You know.
All right. Next one. The Flash. I'm going to be optimistic and say bad, not awful. How about you, Zach?
I'm gonna say disappointing. Because
Alright.
I think it should be good. I love Andy Muschietti. I've loved almost every film he's done. So,
All right.
and real fast, I do see Tommy H mentions, he goes, "Are you guys really bummed about the Flash retcon thing? That can always do that again in the future." I'm not mad about the retcon thing. There's other things I know about the movie that me and Ren both know that just are not exciting.
Because right now we still don't know if the retcon is
True.
accurate. But if it is, let's say it is accurate, there's a ton more bad things happening in that film. The retcon will be the least of our worries.
Yeah.
It more depends on how they do it rather than doing it
again, because it's all about, you can't judge a book by its cover. We might go see The Flash and think it's the best fucking movie of the year. We might be like, Andy Muschietti did it. There's a man who chokes women in it, but whatever. I guess we'll just. Do you think he's gonna do press this year? By the way.
Oh yeah, he's got to do press. Like, there's no way he's the Flash. You know.
No, but I mean for like Fantastic Feet. Like, do you think they'll pre-screen the questions?
Nah. They too complicated. Okay. We did the Flash. Morbius. I'm going to be optimistic again and say bad, because at the very best, it looks bad.
Because I don't think it's gonna be terrible. I think it'll just be okay. So I guess I'll put bad, but I just think it'll be okay. Like it won't change anything for me, like in my life.
All right. Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm going to go great. Surprise twist for you all.
What
I
do you
think
think
this is
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
say
great.
for this? Because you know I don't like Thor Ragnarok that
You
much.
know I don't like Thor Ragnarok.
So what do you think I'm gonna
Um,
say?
because you still haven't read that Thor run that I recommended, that this is partially gonna be based on, I think you're gonna go good. I think you're gonna go reserved for now.
I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna say great. I
Nice, alright.
I heard a couple things about this movie over the last couple of days. More excited. More. I've been saying I'm more
And the
excited for this movie.
suit! We can't show it here because it's a leak,
Yeah,
but the
I love the
suit!
suit.
Ha!
Yeah. But I will say
Alright,
this: I'm more excited for this movie because Taika actually wrote the script. It's not improv this time.
yeah.
So
Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. Guess what I'm going to say, guys? Zach, you go first because I'm going to be the least
great.
surprising. I'm going to say great as well.
I'm gonna say great as well
Aquaman
too.
and the Lost Kingdom. Ooh,
Good.
good. I'm going to go good as well. I really enjoy the first Aquaman.
Same.
I'm going to go good on this one. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
I got one for this. You want to go first or me?
You want me? I'll go first because
You say it.
because you went first on the last one. Disappointing. I'm going to go disappointing on Black Panther. Not that I hope I'm wrong. Save this clip so if it is really good I eat my words, but right now I'm going to go disappointing.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I'm really excited for this movie. I'm more curious about the film than anything on how they pull off everything, but I'm also nervous about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot on that movie, and I also like we talk about a movie dividing a fan base.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to be that type of disappointing.
I don't
I
mean
I
that. I just think in a legacy way.
I think I know, yeah, cuz they should have recast, but that's another conversation that we've already had multiple times. All right. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think we're going to say the same thing.
Great. I mean, if it sucks,
Great.
I'd be shocked. If it
Yeah.
sucks, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, same. DC League of Super Pets.
Bad. That's it. Just bad.
There's
I
no
don't.
option for fun because fun could be bad fun or good fun. I'm gonna go bad as well. I'm gonna go bad as well. Batgirl.
Good. I'm gonna give it a good. The
I
guys
think it's gonna
directed.
go. I think
The
it's gonna
guys who
be good as
directed
well.
Bad Boys did this, and I really
The
like that movie.
best Bad
So
Boys movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
by a far margin.
yeah. And last, maybe not least, Samaritan. I'm going to go good on this one because we haven't seen. Maybe if we had seen the trailer and the trailer was good, I'd be like, "That's gonna be amazing." But right now, I'm gonna go good because I like the premise. Overlord is great. Stallone is awesome, so I'm gonna go good. It's gonna be a good, solid film.
It's gonna be great.
All right.
I don't think I know a lot of people who've actually seen like multiple test
Oh,
screenings of this film. So
all righty.
if that's any indication of what they thought of it, I haven't heard one. Literally one of them.
I mean,
This is
depends
all.
who they are.
They're in our industry. I'll just say that. Like they're actually like critics.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's good.
but this is literally what I saw them tweet it and I was messaging them about it. They're like, they said this last year. They said, I've seen a movie. It has Stallone in it. I can't say anything else, but you all need to fucking see it. And I literally messaged them. I said the Samaritan with a question mark. And they said, yes, 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 yes. And I'm like, that good? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay.
Is the Marvel still coming out this year? I
No,
think it was
that's
delayed till
February.
next year.
It's
Yeah,
February.
February
But I will
2023.
say, since you and me still think Black Panther is going to get moved, I wouldn't be surprised if they switch those since it's done. That movie's done filming. They're in post right now. So I guess for the sake of argument, let's have fun with it because Ant-Man's also done.
Okay.
So let's say if for some reason they switch one of those, the Marvels and Ant-Man, one of them might take over Black Panther. What would you say for those? I think the Marvels is actually going to be great. I'd actually be kind of surprised. I actually think this one's going to be great.
I like Captain Marvel more than most people, but I'm going to go reserved on this and say good.
Okay.
For Captain Marvel, for the Marvels.
And Ant-Man?
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, it's going to be great.
I
It's
agree
gonna
with
be
that.
great. You know why? Because Kevin Feige based it on my pitch, and I still haven't seen a cent, but because it's my pitch, it's gonna be great. All right. That is it for our news topics. Let's finally get into your live questions. And remember, there's several ways of asking questions: live chat, super chat, or tip link in the description. And you can also become a member on the channel and support us month to month. There's several tiers, by the way, of the membership, so you can check those out. Alrighty then. Questions. I didn't finish Jack's ranking, which was my bad entirely. Luis Feliciano's weekly ranking. Number 5, No Time to Die rewatch. Number 4, Easy A rewatch. Number 3, Harry Potter reunion. Number 2, Cobra Kai season 4. Number 1, The Many Saints of Newark. All right, thank you for sharing, Luis. Uh, 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 um. I mean, Scott also shares his weekly ranking, and it's not. There we go. I like all these. Number 1, Jurassic Park 3. Wow. Number 2, Cobra Kai season 4. Number 3, Batman v Superman. Number 4, The Witcher season 2. Number 5, 3 Chicago shows on NBC. Fire, Med, NPD. All right. Thank you for sharing, Luis. Uh, uh, questions. Uh, Ren and Zach says, Lady Aaron. What are other movies besides Turning Red and Morbius that you think are going to get moved? I think that
I don't want to
Uncharted could get
manifest
moved
this.
and hope the Batman doesn't get moved at all. I don't know. I right now at least I don't see many other movies moving. Well, I didn't see Turning Red moving at all, but we live in the world we live in. But right now, if I was to wager, February
There's nothing
20.
really big coming out in February, and I don't see Death on the Nile moving again.
Yeah, if anything, Death on the Nile moves to Disney Plus, but I don't think they can afford to move it
Hmm.
again.
Honestly, as long as everything doesn't keep going down on a downward spiral, I don't see anything moving. Like the only other movie I could see
Eh,
moving is maybe Uncharted, like if it gets that bad, but that's it.
yeah. Yeah, Jackass is not moving anymore because they're already going full throttle with their promotion because Johnny Knoxville is participating in the Royal Rumble and all that.
Death on the
So they
Nile, it's
can't
not
go.
moving.
Yeah.
Uncharted, I only think moves if it
Sure.
gets worse.
Marry Me is
Dog.
not moving. They already announced that Marry Me is dropping same day and date. So if anything, they just
Oh,
take
is
out the
it?
theatrical release. Yeah, they
Oh,
announced
I
it.
didn't see that.
I mean, they showed you the whole trailer in the movie, so I'm not surprised. They just, sorry, the other way around. They showed you the whole movie in the trailer, so I'm not surprised. All right. Uh, mm, questions. Yeah. All right. Uh, mm, mm, mm. So this is the Boba Fett discussion right here. What is your so we lost Sydney this past week. We lost Betty White, Peter Bogdanovich, and and now the fantastic Sidney Poitier. What is your favorite Sidney Poitier movie? Well, it depends if we're talking actor or director. Because if we're talking actor, I'm going cliche and say Guess Who's Coming for Dinner. I believe that's also the name in English. I know the Sidney Poitier. Let me check. Also, another person who lived a full life. The man was 94, so good for him. Let's see. Actor, yeah, I'm probably guessing who guess who's coming to dinner. 67, which I think he also directed. No, he didn't direct. Ah, director. He's also
I've only seen two of his directing pieces. So
yeah. I've seen Stir Crazy and a piece of the action. Um, no, I've seen Buck and the Preacher. Seen Buck and the Preacher too. He also, by the way, funnily enough, he was directed by Peter Bogdanovich in 2 movies, I believe. There's only 2 of them called To Sir with Love. These were TV movies, but Peter Bogdanovich, who also passed away at the age of 84 this past week, he directed Sidney Poitier in those movies. The first one is from 67. And the second one, I'm not finding it, so it might not be registered here, but there's two of those. To Sir with Love. So R.I.P. Sidney Poitier. All right. Eric Thorpe. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Never apologize for being late. You guys are here whenever you can be and however long you can be, and we thank you very much for being here. Here's my ranking: Game of Thrones season 5, episode 1 through 8, Spider-Man: No Way Home, The Matrix Resurrections, The Spanish Princess season 1, episode 1, The Book of Boba Fett episodes 1 and 2. All right, thank you very much for sharing. Uh, more questions. Come on, more questions. Come on. Looking for question marks because that's the easiest way of finding the questions. And now we're in the comic book movies discussion. Lady Aaron, which movies do you think would turn into a massive disappointment despite being hyped to the moon? Well, being hyped to the moon is usually how and why
To the moon.
you turn into massive disappointments. Uh would I don't know any that would, but could Black Adam could. Black Adam could turn into a huge disappointment.
Any movie could.
Any movie could. I mean, if we're well, when we ask could, like anything is possible. That's what we always say. But tough to just think off the top of my head. Ren and Zach, what is your favorite song from an animated movie in 2021? There weren't that many. It's from Belle. Zach,
Still haven't seen it.
while you search for your answer.
Oh, I got mine. It's the donkey song from Encanto with what's her face singing it.
Oh, Louisa.
Yeah.
Surface Pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just send a text. For me, it's one from Belle. Hang on. I'm so sorry. And there we go. The text is sent. Let me search because I don't remember. Because the album is on Spotify already. I've been listening, and it's the climatic song of the film. So if you have not seen Belle, do not go listen to this song. Belle, and the song is where is it? A Million Miles Away. That's the name of the song. That's what I'm going to say. If you've seen the film, you know. Um, Are you okay? This one we addressed the Flash retcon thing. But I saw another question from Tommy H. Tommy H. Triple H. Tommy H. Tommy H. Can you expand on why you're bummed about the Flash? I'm super interested. So we cannot like throw the information out there, but and you guys know quite a bit of the things we know up until now, because in the meantime it has come out. But we knew a ton of like the Michael Keaton, we knew the Ben Affleck, we know other characters in the film that you guys don't know about. And one or two of them are okay. That makes sense. I will say this because I wasn't even. I think someone put it this way to you, and then you told me, and I think it's a very good way to put it. To the people who thought Spider-Man in the MCU always had someone to guide him, even though he didn't need it, quote unquote, those people are going to be really pissed with the Flash movie. Because Spider-Man at least had one person at a time mentoring him. Wow. And yeah, we can't dive into anymore, but
Again,
it's just a ton of
it's not like we've
information.
seen the movie. It's just like
No.
we could watch it and be like, oh, everything we knew makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, everything but Zach has also given me other information of that comes directly one way or the other from people working on the set. So
Well, and it's like, and a lot of that was like confirmed when we saw a lot of the artwork that came over from DC fandom. Once we saw all that artwork, I was like, yep, it's real.
yeah. And this information that we've known for a while, like every piece of new official info that has come out kind of confirms everything we've been fearing. So that's why all our however our excitement was, it's only gone down with every piece of information that has come out. Sorry.
And they
So
this is a movie that really needs a trailer. They need an actual official trailer out
yeah, yeah.
because I don't
So
get it.
our
Same with
theaters
Black
open for
Adam. Where the
everyone.
fuck is a Black Adam trailer?
So our theaters open for everyone else still. Here they
Yeah.
are, but you need a negative test to go in. In
Oh,
London
really?
they are,
Hmm.
and if you are vaccinated, you can go in. So that's why I didn't go to the theaters this past week, sadly. How about there, Zach? I know in Canada, and Eric
Oh,
is from
we're all
Canada.
open. We don't care.
They're very
In
close.
my state, we don't care.
Yeah.
You can. The thing that's tough about that though, I worked retail, and like we would have to like ask people to wear a mask and stuff like that. But like we were told, like if they say no, we can't do anything about it. So it's the
Mhm.
same thing now. Like you can require it, but like it's just like a fucking 16-year-old or an 18-year-old working it. Like, what are they gonna
Yeah.
tell you? Go fuck yourself. Like it's not worth that big of an argument. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. What do you think about when people say Marvel has dropped in quality with Phase 4 so far? I think about how wrong they are. I'm kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, but honestly, I don't see how the quality is different from the previous three phases. Each phase has films that range from fantastic, solid to meh. The MCU is like a giant TV series where some episodes are gonna be beloved and others are not, but there was only two of two. Well, a question like this, it's just very subjective. It really depends on who you ask, but I do disagree. I will say this. With this phase 4 so far, there are lows that they hadn't hit in a while for me, but finally, my my new Mac needs to charge. Give me just a second.
To go off while he's doing
There
that,
we go.
I think Phase
Uh,
4 might be their best phase yet.
I definitely don't think it's their best, but I will say like there are lows with Hawkeye and Black Widow, and lows within the contest. I think those are a solid show and a solid movie, but those are lows that they hadn't hit in a while. But they've also hit highs that are equivalent to other highs like Spider-Man: No Way Home, Loki, Shang-Chi. Like Shang-Chi was revolutionary. Like the people who were
Game
looking forward to
changer.
Shang-Chi, and how surprising that film was overall. I'm not saying everyone has to agree and whatnot, but that movie was so well done, so well received overall. And how many So I definitely disagree, but again, it's one of those things that is very subjective. Like I can't empirically prove that Phase 4 has not dipped in quality, but other people also can't prove that Phase 4 has dipped in quality. So those are my thoughts. How about you, Zach? Anything else to add?
Nope, I agree.
All right. Hey, Ren and Zach. So great to be back for Christmas and New Year's. I went to North Carolina to visit my family. That's awesome, dude. I hope you enjoy your time with your family. Because that's always good. Uh, 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 um, uh, Ren and Zach, what ended up being the most disappointing movie of 2021?
She
Good
also asked,
question.
Lady Aaron also asked later down below what the most surprising is, so we can knock this one out at the same
The most
time.
surprising we talked about last week, like Cop Shop,
Oh yeah.
is up there. Disappointing. I wasn't excited for the Matrix, so that's not disappointing.
Mm,
Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up was
I
disappointing
love
to
that one.
me. I was not excited for House of Gucci, so that didn't disappoint me technically.
F9 should have been better.
Yeah, true, true. For
Oh,
surprises,
I have one for
Ghostbusters
me.
Afterlife and Finch. We talked about those last week as
I
well.
have two major ones actually.
Go ahead.
Three. The Kingsman was not a fan of. Was not. I was very disappointed in that movie. My
I
title,
disagree.
Antlers. I was so hyped for that movie for 3 years. No idea why they
I was
just didn't
not
drop it on
excited for that
streaming.
one. Never got
I
excited
I
for that one.
love Wendigo stuff, so like that's why I was really excited. And then I have two more actually. One that I liked somewhat part of these movies, but the marketing got me way more hyped than I should have been. Spiral, the Book of Saw, and Halloween Kills.
Ugh. Yeah, that one, that's the disappointing. And the French Dispatch was also disappointing.
Oh,
for me.
I like that one. Yeah.
I liked
Oh,
it overall.
Snake Eyes. I would say Snake Eyes was a disappointing disaster.
I wasn't excited.
Erwig and the Witch.
Oh, that's a good one. That's that's very.
That was my second least favorite film of the year. Oh, Resident Evil. I fucking hated that movie. Least favorite
I
film
was
of the
not
year.
excited.
Terrible.
If anything, it was better than I expected. That's not saying
No,
much, but
no.
it was better than that.
It's
Night House
garbage.
was a surprise.
I love that movie. I have it right here.
Oh, Don't Breathe 2. I mean, I wasn't too excited.
Got this
but,
one right here.
Yeah, those are just a few. So let's keep going. Have you guys finished all the Scream movies? And if you saw the reactions to the new one, are you even more excited? So, you know me, I stay away from any reaction to every movie I haven't seen yet. Obviously, if it's a new release. If it's an old movie that I haven't seen, like that's on me. But no, I haven't seen the reactions to the new one. And tonight, either tonight or tomorrow, I'm watching 3, and then on Monday or Tuesday, I'll be watching 4. I've seen them all once, so now I need to refresh my memory. Zach, how about you?
I saw the first two for the first time back in October. Saw 3 and 4 for the first time New Year's
So
Day.
you already finished them all.
Yeah, I finished them all. So,
Okay, nice.
very like it. I see the new one on Monday. So very.
Okay.
I'm showing Cynthia tonight, Ready or Not, because she's never seen it. So
Nice. Where are we? Questions. Question, Ren and Zach. How do you guys get your insiders that give you guys information that not everyone knows about? Just I've had the channel for 5 years. It's gonna be 7. No, gonna be 6 this year. Zach, almost the same thing. So we end up being connected to people who are also in this industry. I hate using that word. But
you meet people who
word.
also know people, and then you talk to people, and then like honestly, I'll be honest. So
and,
with
and
Spider-Man,
sometimes you know people yourself.
yeah, and like with Spider-Man No Way Home, I had someone just message me randomly. They're like, they sent me something. They're like, "Do you want to know about more about? Do you want to know about Spider-Man No Way Home?" And I was like, "Sure."
Spider-Man.
But I was like, I don't know if you're like telling the truth. I straight up told them, I was like, "Do you know how many shit?" And they're like, "The first trailer will drop this day." And what happened? That trailer dropped that day. So then I was like, I'm gonna start believing this person. So this person literally tells me when trailers drop. They let me know when trailers are fit. I don't know if they work at a trailer house or whatever, but I knew like a lot of that film like way before I mean a lot of us did, but like I knew, and I know a lot about Doctor Strange. It's just stuff like that. I mean,
Doctor Strange, honestly, I know a lot of, but I don't know details. Purposely,
that's where I'm
at. Don't tell me
like,
details, but
I don't tell me anything.
Like, don't tell me the hows and the whys and what comes of it, but well, things that are gonna be in Doctor Strange.
And then adding in
shaping. Well, that's a great example, by the way, Zach. Doctor Strange is precisely the contrast to the Flash, where every piece of information I find out about it's like, okay, my excitement is going up.
Yep.
All right. What were films that everyone had on their worst of 2021 list, but you were like meh or you liked? I know Eternals was an easy answer, but I'd say Red Notice. It's not good, but I've seen worse. Yeah, but I enjoyed Red Notice. I think Red Notice is a fun time.
Same.
I haven't seen that many worst lists because a lot of people have dropped off making worst lists. I only saw Oh, you know what? I'm not going to say Red Notice, but a movie that it's not good, but I've seen worse is the Home Sweet Home Alone trailer. I saw that as somebody's number 1. Sean had it on his list, but I don't remember what number. Um, so that's one for me. Like it's a bad movie overall, bad movie. But I've seen so much worse, especially last year. That wasn't even a dishonorable mention for me. That's how much I thought it was just. It's just a very average kind of bad. You
Yeah.
see that kind of bad all the time, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right. There may be more, by the way, GKOP. I just off the top of my head, trying to remember it. I don't know.
Reminiscence is one. I
Uh,
saw that on a couple
you
people's.
saw? I didn't see that one, but
I did.
I do agree. If it was on somebody's worst list, it was one of my honorable mentions on the best list. I could have done a top 20, but I chose not to. In fact, Aaron asked if The Last Duel would have made my top 20, and no, The Last Duel essentially changed places with another film. Um, that at the time I gave a slightly lower grade than I did Last Duel, but essentially they changed in terms of the grading that I gave them. Nate Ackenbauer, weekly ranking. Number 1, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Number 2, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, season 1 through 3. Number 3, LA Confidential. Number 4, Scream 2. And number 5, Scream 3. Alrighty. We talked about this one. So, with people saying F9 was such a disappointment, like it wasn't good, but I mean, what franchise has everyone been watching that they expected it to be good? The Fast franchise, ever since number 5. 5 was really fun. 6 was fantastic. 7 was great. It actually had emotion to it. 8 was a ton of stupid fun. Same with Hobbs and Shaw. So I was expecting this to be more fun and not so stupid. Um, the F9 to me felt very cynical about its own stupidity. All the other ones were very earnest about it. Was come on, have fun with us, let's laugh about it, and eat popcorn. This one was eat this shit because you. This is stupid. You know it, so you'll just eat wherever we give you, and that's how I felt F9 treated its audience. So yeah. Zach, anything to add?
No.
All
He
right.
said, I liked F9, but I didn't love it.
Jico EP, do you guys think Ryan Reynolds should do more dramatic roles? I'm not one of those who's tired of the Deadpool shtick. I love the word shtick. But I do wish he would do more dramatic films because he shows he has range. It just depends on what he wants to do. I think if an actor sees himself forced to do a certain kind of role, on the long run, he'll also not be as good as we expect him to be. But I agree with you. He has shown that he has the range. He has the talent for it. So I hope he does more dramatic roles. And eventually, he'll have to do as he grows into his 50s. Not that he looks the age he is.
His new
He
movie
looks
comes out in
very
March,
young.
just so everyone knows.
Which one?
On Netflix with Mark Ruffalo
Oh,
and Sean Levy, the time travel one.
the Adam Project. That one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Project Adam, Adam Project, something like that.
that looks a little bit more dramatic. That doesn't look like
It's
comedy.
no,
It,
it's like his other ones.
oh, okay. Oh well. But yeah, he has the range for it, so I hope he does.
One of my
More
sister's
dramatic
friends
stuff.
actually got to meet him. She lives in Canada where they were filming it, and they were like across the street. And she just walked up. I'm like, what the fuck?
All right. Best movie that you guys saw at a film festival in 2021. Well, I only attended one festival, and it was easily Spencer. Zach, what about you?
I went to Sundance, and I saw stuff at TIFF. TIFF was kind of pissed me off. Oh, Dune. I went to New York. I forgot. Yeah,
Ah,
so
that's
Dune.
right. Of course. um, Lady Aaron, what are some movies that you would consider some of your guilty pleasures? Not some. There's one. And it's Dirty Dancing. That's my guilty pleasure.
For
How
me,
about you,
it's
Zach?
Serenity. A masterpiece of
I,
everything
I
in the
don't know why
world.
that surprises me every fucking time, and it shouldn't.
Dude, I I I don't know what it was. I've only seen it like 5 times, and I've watched it with the
Mhm.
same person each of those 5 times. and we just fucking laugh our ass off. You know, I might watch it with like my dad one day, thinking and then I'll be like, this is the stupidest thing in the world. I own it. I fucking own it.
I
Like,
know.
I
I
love it.
know.
It's so good. It's
All
so
right.
good.
This is not a
So
question, but I
bad.
want to highlight this because I love it. GQP, guys, I just finished Coda a few hours ago, already in my top best of the year list. Just need to see more movies to prepare my list since I've been slacking last year. Fuck yes, dude. Fuck yes. Coda is amazing. I think I forgot to log it in, but I think I also watched it this week.
Was it in your top 10?
It
Was in
was
your
no,
top.
but I rewatched it and I showed it to my parents. So that's why I forgot to log
Did
it,
they
but I
like it?
rewatched it. They loved it.
Do you think it gets
Essentially, like
nominated? Do you think it gets nominated?
for picture,
Yeah. They're doing 10 this year,
I
so
know. God, Zach, right here, hand to hand up to the universe. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think it does, but
no.
I'll be the happiest person on. I'll be happier than Amelia
They
Jones.
gotta
I'll be happier than Malin Matlin. I'll
I
be
want
happier
Troy.
than Troy Kutzer. I'll be happy than all of them. If it does get nominated, I'll be the biggest supporter of Coda. I'll be the biggest supporter of Coda if it gets nominated. Holy shit, I
I
want that movie to get nominated.
If it gets nominated for Best Picture, I guarantee Troy gets in as supporting. And
I
I'll
hope so.
argue I think Troy wins. I think Troy wins
Okay.
if he gets nominated. Which I hope. I mean, he's from Arizona, so a little biasness there, but
Not biased at all. Not
I
biased.
met him and he's very, very nice. He's like one of the nicest guys I've ever met. So also, fun fact, do you know he created the sign language for the Tusken Raiders?
I saw you sent a tweet about that.
Yeah. And he was a Tusken Raider in Mando. I didn't know that.
Ah, nice. What are your expectations for Peacemaker? The first reactions say it's fun.
I'm
What are my
gonna say this right now.
expectations?
Ren is gonna be the only one that doesn't think it's fun. I'm calling it right fucking now. He's not gonna like it. He's gonna be he always has these
Thanks a
hot
lot.
takes. He always has these fucking hot takes.
Making me sound like an old man.
You're gonna be like, fuck this show.
Oh my god. Okay.
Fuck this show. That's what you're gonna say.
Oh, this is a good question. I think we've answered it before, or variations of it. What is your most memorable movie theater experience, whether it would be good or bad? Yeah, thankfully I don't remember any of the bad ones. I have several. One
Oh,
of
I
them
remember bad ones.
is the press screening, and then on the same day the opening night screening of Avengers Endgame. Both amazing. Another one was the sing-along version of The Greatest Showman.
That was a
I
good one. I saw
I
that.
really enjoy that film, but the experience of being there with other people that enjoy the film and singing to every song, just awesome
Still
experience.
listen to that soundtrack every day.
Oh yeah, 100%. Another one, just not every movie, but every year when attending the London Film Festival, there's at least one movie where you feel the experience. This year, I felt it more than most because I was attending the festival with friends and with fellow critics and whatnot. So whenever it was on the Royal Festival Hall, which is this huge theater, with this huge screen, that was special. And last but not least, another one was when I watched Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time on the big screen. Not for the first time, for the first time on the big screen in 70 millimeter. It was visually delicious. Zach, how about you?
Endgame, Spider-Man No Way Home, Infinity War are some of the best ones I've ever had. Jurassic World, surprisingly, was also really good on theaters.
Well, Spider-Man No Way Home is one as well. Good
Yeah.
shout. I don't know why I forgot that one.
Worst, man. I went to a press screening of Annabelle Creation, but it was a screening that people could win tickets for. And there were more children in that theater than I saw when I went and saw the Grinch press screening.
You reminded me of one time that it wasn't a bad theater experience because the baby turns out didn't make any noise, thankfully. Or actually, it started making noise, but the parents immediately took him out.
Which shout out to those parents, dude. When I saw
Shout
No
out
Way
to those
Home,
parents. But
The
I
third
didn't tell you
time.
what movie it was.
What movie?
Slender Man.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Dude, someone took a baby to Spider-Man, and dude, I'm not joking. It's so fucking quiet. And this happened twice. So my friend is very vocal. So it's very quiet. Movies like the previews are about to start. Baby starts fucking screaming. Dude, my friend goes, "You better take that." Like it's quiet. He goes, "You better take that baby outside right now." Like out loud, and everyone just starts laughing. And because
No.
he worked all week, and this is all he wanted to do is experience this fucking movie with us. And of course, someone brings a baby that's screaming. So they took the baby. Thank God, baby didn't scream for the rest. Then in the theater, right before the movie's about to start, the audio cuts out completely for like 2
Wow.
seconds. And my friend's
Damn.
like, out loud, "You fucking gotta be kidding me." And then it kicked back in. Because like the last time we went to this theater, which is a great theater, Black Panther was all fucked up. So he doesn't like Black Panther because he just had a bad
Oh,
experience
wow.
with it. So,
Damn. All right.
but yeah.
Jico AP, what are your hopes for the Marvels? As someone who wasn't a fan of Captain Marvel, I'm interested to see where near the cast takes her character, because my big flaw with the first was it didn't do a good job setting up Carol as an interesting character for the future. Hopefully the second one fixes that. To me, when it comes to like what you hope for a film, to me it's rough coming up with hopes and dreams. Hopes for a film when I don't properly know what the story is. It's a good question. Don't get me wrong, GKOP. But to me, it's tough to say, oh, I hope they go in direction X, Y, or Z when I don't know which direction they are going in. So I don't know what would fit the movie. Because it's easy to fantasy write a script, to
Yeah.
fantasy book, per se. But it's an interesting question that I would love to answer, but I would have to know like what's the premise, what is going on in this film, like what's the setting off point, and from then I can say a few hopes, but that's it. Lady Aaron, yes, we covered part 2 of 2. What movie do you think is going to overperform at the Oscars and get a lot of nominations? So we answered a variation of this question. There are two prime candidates for that right now, and that is Belfast and West Side Story. Those are going to be at least going in, and then we'll see if we're right or wrong. But going in, those are your two safest bets right now. Zach, how about you? Anything to add?
Overperform wise, Dune will be nominated for everything except actors.
Mm.
I think Denis gets directing, it gets a writing, it gets visual effects, gets all that. So yeah.
Jorge, Zach, what was your favorite and least favorite character in Cobra Kai? What is?
I don't know. I don't really have like a least favorite per se, because I actually thought this season was probably the best at balancing everyone into in a good manner. So I don't really know how to answer that one. I just like the show.
All right, bad dog reviews. Do you think any of the other Suicide Squad characters would have been more interesting than Peacemaker in a spin-off series? It's not a tricky question, but my answer is tricky because I would say no, but then the trailers have not sold me on the show. Because coming off of the Suicide Squad, and when they first announced the show, I was like, oh, yes, that's cool. That's awesome. But then the trailers have not done a great job for me. Would any of the other Suicide Squad characters have been more interesting? Only two, really. Harley and Bloodsport. I don't think King Shark as a lead. I think King Shark is great in an ensemble. Ratcatcher 2, I also think I as much as I loved her, she is the heart of that film, like bar none.
Yeah.
But coming off of that film, I don't see her being a lead in her own show or her own solo film for that
And
matter.
everyone else died.
Yeah. I would say like Bloodsport, Harley, and Peacemaker like are up there. But then I'm in this tricky situation because I say that, but the trailers themselves for this show haven't really sold me on it. What about you, Zach? What do you think?
Uh, I mean, it's hard without context because I could have seen a Bloodsport trailer and thought it was stupid. Same with Harley Quinn, you
Exactly.
know. So, honestly,
And
I just wanted
Harley
another
Quinn, a
suicide.
different one, but Harley Quinn already has a show.
But I will be honest, Peacemaker should have died in the show or in the movie. Sorry, he should have died. There's no ifs,
All right.
ands, and buts. He was dead.
Yeah.
Why? You know what? They should have given me a Starro show. That's what we should have gotten.
Of him floating in space.
Yes.
Um, Jorge also asks, "Do you think Daredevil becomes an important character in the MCU?" Oh yeah, 100%. That they've already set him up to become one. Um, Ren, which musicals do you wish you would see a single long to in theaters besides seeing The Greatest Showman? Good one, good one, good one, good one. You know what? Well, I'm going to kind of cheat on my first answer, but most of my favorite Disney musicals would be an easy answer. It is an easy answer. I'm going to surprise you on the next one because I didn't love the movie, but some of the songs are really good. At least the first one is the best one. There are other good ones, but nothing comes close to the first one, and that is Tick Tick Boom. Tick Tick Boom, I guess, would be a fun one just for the songs. Everything else would be on my phone probably. But Tick Tick Boom, In the Heights would be a great one. I'm only naming 2021 musicals right now. Musicals. Zach, tell us a few of yours.
In the Heights.
In the Heights.
That would definitely be one of the big ones.
Ryan the Last Dragon is not a musical, Google. Bohemian Rhapsody, 100%. How did I forget?
That would
I
have been
also
good.
watched Bohemian Rhapsody this week, rewatched,
Nice.
but I forgot to log it in. I still love that movie. Sorry to say, everyone. Waves is not a musical. What the fuck? Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins would be a fun one. Coco would be a fun one. Uh, well, Beauty and the Beast. Yes, I've named that. Les Mis. Les Mis. I want to see the play Les Mis. Not even a music sing along version. I want to see the play of Les Mis. But theater tickets are so expensive. But yeah, I'd want to see Les Mis. That's up there.
Hmm.
Just to sing the Javert songs. Um, oh, this is a good question. This may be a hard question for you guys. I'm telling you right now, Aaron. For me, at least, can't speak for Zach, but for me, it's not. What is a movie that you never got to see in theaters that you wish you got to see in theaters? For me, it is easily La La Land. I thankfully got to see that. Not several times, but I saw it 2 times in theaters. No, three times in theaters. That is always my biggest regret in life, not getting to see my favorite movie of all time in a movie theater and seeing it on DVD a year and a half later. So I have several, but a few of them I've managed to see in a theater in a meanwhile. But for me, the answer is easy, and I'm going to cheat because it's three movies, and I don't want to see one without getting to see the others. But it's not a possible thing right now. But that is the original trilogy: Star Wars, New Hope, Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. That is the holy grail of movies that I've never seen in theaters that I wish I could see in theaters. Most of the other ones I'll get a chance to because there's a great theater in London, the Prince Charles Theater. They play all these old movies all the time. They do marathons, they do the sing-alongs, they do the 35, the 70 millimeter printings and whatnot. But for me, easily, bar none, the original trilogy. Zach, how about you?
I mean, I can mention a ton of movies that I've never seen because like I just wasn't born yet. But I'm gonna go with ones that I like possibly just missed, and I baffles me. All the Lord of the Rings, Interstellar. Interstellar is probably the biggest one for me that I missed in theaters. Those are like the main three I always go to though, that I think. But of course, like you said, the original trilogy I would have loved to have seen in the theaters. So
One day it's gonna be possible, Zach.
I
It's
know.
gonna be available. And
I've had the chance. I just like
you've had the
it.
chance. Well, then I
It's
hate you.
but it's like tickets sell out, or
Yeah,
like it doesn't match
that's
my
not true.
schedule, and it's like it's a one night only thing. It's like fuck you, put it in for the
Oh
week,
yeah, yeah.
like stuff like that. So
Chico EP, have you ever recommended a movie to your family or friends and they ended up liking it? All the time. I'm a master.
he's a
No,
film
but
critic.
most times when I recommend movies, my family, my friends end up liking it.
I
There
have
are
a question.
exceptions.
Do you ever
Yes.
have like a friend or a family member that asks you for an opinion on a film and you reviewed it and you
Mhm.
think to yourself, well, just
What's the
watch my
review,
review?
bitch?
So I've started getting
My
to the
my
point where if someone asks
I'm more
me,
lenient. I'm more lenient on my family because they don't understand English too good.
hmm
They understand enough. So my mom will
okay,
watch my reviews. I know that, but if they ask me, I know they probably didn't understand when I talked about it.
okay. So for me, it depends on who's asking me, but typically I will
Your
literally
family
just
doesn't have that excuse. You're
no,
English
they
speakers.
don't. They don't. But I will typically just send them the link. That's it. Like
All
if
right.
I'll literally I remember one of my friends, what do you think of House of Gucci?
If someone asks me like online on a messenger, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
Here you go, my review.
Same.
I f-
That's probably my big
my
one.
friends understand English, so when they ask me, I'm like, I reviewed it. Don't you want to
Yeah.
watch my review?
Like one of my best friends asked me, "How was House of Gucci?" And I literally
Shit,
just sent the link to my review, and they never
shit,
replied back.
not
And I'm like,
chocolato. It was shit.
yeah.
All right, let me finish. I recommended my cousin to watch Studio Ghibli films since he's a big anime fan. He loved Spirited Away, and it's now one of his favorite movies. And he liked Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle, and Howl's Moving Castle. Those are the only ones he's seen so far. Definitely recommend him when Marnie was there. The Wind Rises is amazing.
The Boy
My
and the
Neighbor
Beast.
Totoro, The Boy, but that's not Ghibli, but that's also really
Oh,
good.
I just thought we were
Um,
just mentioning the anime.
that's from the same director of Bell, by the way, Mamoru Hosoda. Um, so those are really good. I need to give Princess Mononoke a rewatch as well. Alrighty. What is your favorite Studio Ghibli film? Well, good thing I didn't just answer that on one of the ones Studio Ghibli Jico BP mentioned. I haven't seen enough for for a least favorite, but my favorite is The Secret World of Ariete. That's a really good one. I really like that one. I surprisingly have never seen Spirited Away. That's a great one. The best one is a lot of people will tell you the best one is Spirited Away, and it's up there for me. By the way, also recommend to your cousin Kiki's Delivery Service, Jico B.
Yep.
That's a great one as well. The best one is still Princess Mononoke for me. Princess Mononoke is absolutely their masterpiece. So yeah. All right. What is your favorite, Zach?
Studio. It's Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Or Princess, because I really like that one too.
Also Grave of the Fireflies, but that's one of those movies you'll only watch once,
Yep.
never again.
Yep.
It's not because it's bad, but trust me, it's not one film you want to watch at a party with friends.
No, that's the best one to get pizza
That's
and
the
sit
best
down with
one.
a bunch of friends.
Yeah, yeah, and cry into your pizza. um, Ren, I think you're not gonna like Scream 3 when you watch it, and won't blame you because it's the worst one out of the four. I remember thinking that, like, obviously, I've only watched them once. Well, at this point, I've recently watched the first one and the second one again. So the first one and the second one I've seen twice at this point in my life. Third and fourth only watched once, but my ranking, my my interim ranking before I finish the rewatch and watch the new one and give you my ranking video of the Scream franchise. First is number one, then four, then two, and then three. That's how I remember putting them, and that's how I stand right now. But maybe tonight or tomorrow or whenever I watch the third one, I'm like, no, this is really good. This is the fucking best one. I don't know. But anything is possible. Anything is possible. Who do you think Rachel Zegler will play in Shazam 2? Hopefully someone who sings because she has the voice of
It's
an
out
angel.
there right now if people want to
It's
find out.
out? All right.
It's out, yeah. I'm not gonna get into
Uh
it, but if people want to
Tell me
find
in the
out, they
private chat then, because I don't know. I haven't seen it. Are you more excited for Top Gun or Mission Impossible this year? I have the most anticipated movie list that answers that exact question. Bad Dog Reviews. So we're just gonna do what we said we usually do with friends that ask our thoughts on movies. So there's a video for you to watch. Zach, do you have both those in your top 10 most anticipated list? Because I have both of them. That's why I'm
They
not
were
answering it.
my honorable mentions.
Okay. So, but if you had to choose then, nice. But if you had to choose then, which one are you most excited for?
I'd say it's gonna be crazy when I say this, but I'm gonna say Top Gun. I only say that because I don't know how you beat Mission Impossible Fallout. I don't know how you go above that film. So prove it to me, Christopher McQuarrie.
Alrighty. Who do you guys want to see play Black Cat if they use her in the next Spider-Man trilogy? I can honestly see Anya Taylor-Joy playing her. I can see Anya Taylor-Joy playing her. I think Sydney Sweeney is a better fit for that character specifically. But if today, tomorrow, Monday, they announce Anya Taylor-Joy officially playing Black Cat, I'll be like, awesome. Fantastic. I fucking love Anya Taylor-Joy. So bring it on. Zach?
Literally both the same casting choices you said. Either of them would work for me.
Speaking of Sydney Sweeney and tomorrow, Euphoria, baby. Let's go. Well, Monday for me, but tomorrow for you guys, damn Americans. What are some of your favorite performances of the 2010s decade? Say like 10 favorites. No, we'll do one for each. Because to think off the top of our head, there's no way.
DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street and
J.K. Simmons in Whiplash.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis in Lincoln. No, that was 2020 already, so I can't say that one. Female performance.
Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Amy Adams in Arrival.
Amy Adams in Arrival. Emma Stone in La La Land.
Ryan Gosling in La La Land.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049.
Margot Robbie in I, Tonya.
Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street. The Day I Fell in Love for the Last Time.
Adam Driver in The Last Jedi.
Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story.
There you go.
So those are a few of the ones. Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit as well.
Oh, God. And Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Nice.
Every time I tell someone to watch that, what's it about? And I describe it to them. They're like, it sounds stupid. I'm like,
it's about Nazis.
Yeah.
I think I actually do that accent pretty well, given it's not a realistic accent. Jojo, what are you doing? Come on.
You do.
Oh, this is a good one. What is a song from a movie that always gets stuck in your head? Just singing or
right now it's the Bruno one from Encanto.
Talk about Bruno, no. A lot of the songs from The Greatest Showman. I'm going to answer something that I answer a lot of times when people ask me about songs. It's more like pieces of scoring as well. So for the past few weeks, it's been Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. Or 3. 3 is the magic number.
The song didn't get stuck in my head.
Oh, it does, man.
This is a good one. Let's see if we have... Okay, we have more questions, so we won't finish on this one. Or... Nope. We can... No, we'll do one more after this. What is the best year in film? It's too broad a topic, at least for this current format of the show. Maybe in Twig, we'll talk about it. That's a fun acronym for the next show.
Yeah.
A happy accident. I'll give you 3. No, I'll give you 2. 21 was great, but it was not like all time, just because of the bad ones that we also did get. But I'll give you 2 years. 2017, my personal favorite year. Like off the top of my head, I didn't analyze every single year in existence and the existence of film. But 2017 is my favorite year of the past decade. And 2019 was phenomenal.
Why is 2017? I'm just curious.
2017, War for the Planet of the Apes, Blade Runner 2049. This was a conversation that emerged. We started talking about it, me and a few other a few other fellow critics while we were in the lines for the film festival, for the London Film Festival. We started talking about it, and we were all like, "Oh shit, that you're right. 2017 was a great year."
Yeah.
I'm actually going to get like my playlist 2017 movie reviews. The Darkest Hour, The Disaster Artist was there. Was in 2017. No, that's Comic Con 2017 interviews. Where is my 2017 movie reviews? 2018. 17.
For me, just so everyone knows, 2016 or 2019 of recent years are my favorites.
2016, really?
La
Wow.
La Land,
Okay.
Arrival. Those are the two big ones for me.
I really want to find my 2017 movie reviews playlist because I am not
Deadpool.
finding it. Deadpool was 2016.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm
you
saying.
but you answered 2016, so that makes
Mhm.
sense. Hang on, guys. I really want to answer this question.
Silence.
Ran Geekness 2017 movie reviews. Mhm. There should be a playlist. Murder on the Orient Express. I really like
Logan.
it. Logan
The
was
Snowman.
2017. A Silent Voice
I,
was
Tanya. Oh, yeah,
2017.
this was a great year. Happy Death
Uh,
Day. Ghost in the Shell,
um,
Baby Driver. Shape of
Baby
Water.
Driver.
Ghost Story. It.
Was it Ghost Story
Alien
2017?
Covenant.
I thought
Yeah.
it was 2017.
Nah.
Huh.
It's 2017. This one's 2017. Last
Okay.
Jedi. Blade Runner.
The Shape of Water, The Greatest Showman,
Dunkirk.
I, Tanya, Lady Bird,
Kong Sky
Jumanji:
Island.
Welcome to the Jungle was a really nice surprise. Wonder, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, The
The
Florida
Dark
Project,
Tower.
The Dark
Mummy.
Tower, The Dark Tower. Dark Tower was a good. The Darkest Hour was good. Paddington 2 was 2017. There you go. That makes more argument. I don't need to say anything else.
There you go.
Call Me by Your Name as well. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Molly's Game. I Love You, Daddy, which I'm probably the only person to this day that has seen that movie. Coco was that year. Blade of the Immortal was that year. Brigsby Bear was that year.
I still have
Um,
not seen that movie. I've owned it
Brigsby
since the
Bear.
first day it came out on Blu-ray.
Brigsby Bear is so good.
I know. And
So
I've owned
good.
it since the first day. I've been wanting to watch it. I just
Oh,
never did.
Zach, another one. Gerald's Game. Mother. A Ghost Story, you're right, was in 2017. Detroit. The First It. Logan Lucky. The Big Sick. Wind River was 27. It was insane. 2017 was a fan fucking nominal year.
Yep.
I love that year. All right. Last one. Chico EP. What are movies that many people say is overrated, but to you they're not? Tons. This always happens when a film gets a lot of praise. Even though Home is starting to get it, Ren is going to say Endgame and La La Land. I'm not going to say that because if people say those are overrated, they're just wrong.
I hear
I'm going to
La
be
La
an
Land
entitled
all
fucking
the
asshole.
time. I hear La La
Really?
Land all the time. And it bugs the
Yikes.
shit out of me. Every time I do.
Overrated. Overrated. Hmm. That's a good one. Overrated. I'd probably remember underrated. Oh, this one just happened to me. Where it wasn't a group chat, so they weren't talking directly to me. But someone claimed that the original trilogy was overrated. I had to leave the chat. I
You
had to
left.
leave the
You
chat,
literally
and
left the chat.
I literally left. I was like, "Don't jump at this person, Ren. Don't let him be, and be in peace. Have some time to breathe." And so I just did something else because I'm not going to stress over it. I'm not going to stress over how wrong they are. That's their problem, not mine. So,
Don't blame me.
yeah. Yeah. I needed a breather after that. How about you, Zach?
I've heard, American Hustle gets too much fucking hate. I'm sorry. I didn't hate that movie. I like that movie.
I didn't love it.
Literally
I
hear it
never
all the
loved it.
time.
Yeah.
I've also heard overrated for American Sniper. Don't hate that one either.
I do think that one is overrated, but I don't hate it.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, La La Land's probably the biggest one I hear all the time. Every time I mention I
Well,
love that movie. I have 2 posters in my room of that film.
those people are wrong. I have one steelbook, one normal edition, and one steelbook, and I paid a pretty penny for that steelbook just because it's La La
I
Land.
just pre-ordered the new one.
Son of a bitch. That's not available in the UK, but if it ever is, you damn right I'm going to order that. All right, everyone. That is it for this week's Geeks of the Roundtable. Thank you so much for watching. And once more, big shout out to Bruna and Stuart, who are, as far as I'm concerned, the only 2 members on the channel right now. Let me see if that changed. But we reached 3,460 subscribers. So thank you so much, everyone. And right now, yes, Bruna and Stuart are still the only members on the channel. So thank you so much, Bruna and Stuart. If you guys want to consider being members on the channel, there's a link for it in the description. So see the perks, see if it is for you. If it's not, that's totally fine. But tons of exclusive content, not comments, content coming to the members on the channel. So I want to thank them for making these videos possible. So consider joining them. And thank you so much for joining me and Zach on this, our weekly show. Next week, say goodbye to this set because we'll be back in the London set. Regular time, regular place, just a different background. Still this ugly mug. All right, everyone. Thank you so much once more. Zach, what do you got coming up this weekend? Where can people find you?
Scream content and Boba Fett, and that's
Bobo,
really it.
Bobo Fett.
And if you guys like video games, make sure to go subscribe to Critics Play Games. We have a lot of content coming over there very soon. So, of course, thank you as always. And Ren, I can't wait for next week. Who knows what might drop this week?
Who knows what might drop this week? Tons of content coming to the channel every week. At least for this week, we still have the Book of Boba Fett, but we'll have review for Scream. We'll have a Scream franchise ranking. We will have a review for an animated movie that is coming out, the first movie of the year. And I still wanted to give you a review for the Wasteland, the Netflix horror thriller, Spanish horror thriller. So tons of videos coming, tons of content, and the ranking video, first ranking video of the year. So I cannot wait to give you that one. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And until the next one, we'll see you very soon. Love each other.